to answer your pressing questions about life, the universe, and everything. This week is sponsored by Strongbow because they told us an apple a day to keep the doctor away. So we figured, hell, why not drink a bunch? That works, right? So, sorry. Right before we went on air, Babyninja was doing Kermit voice because I realized that we're actually not the Jerry Springer of SCA shows. We're the Muppet Show of SCA shows. And he's probably Kermit. So I'm Tulia. I'm a Laurel from the West Kingdom. Y'all know who I am. Who cares? Let's just get going. It's been a fucking week. So I'm going to throw this over to my beautiful co-host, Helga. Please do.
Oh man, when you're talking about beautiful co-host, I thought you were talking about Babyninja there.
Well, he's our beautiful tech crew. Well, half of our
/ guest this evening. So I'm Helga. I'm a knight, a pelican, and a royal peer from the West Kingdom. And you guys have heard this intro 48 times. Unless you're just starting to watch the show now. And now you've heard it once, where we're all just a wreck this week. And so I hope that you all are ready for a really fun show. We are very spoiled to have one of our tech crew. Believe me, we'll be having our other tech crew on and our support crew on as guests because we want you guys to get to know them as well as we've gotten to know them. And Babyninja is the first into the fire. So, Babyninja, would you like to give an intro?
He's desperately trying to text, like...
I also like how like we've got the professional backgrounds going on, and Babyninja's got like his dresser in one corner and the dog in another.
Dresser,
this is the background
dirty clothes, dog.
It's very authentic. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Babyninja, as most of you know me. I'm the a-hole behind the screen that just messes with them because I can do crosses versus like this. It's amazing.
I just discovered he can do voices, and now we can't shut him off.
Gonna be great. I have fought in more kingdoms than I could even think about. That's the short version. I don't have a lot of awards. I just hit people with sticks. That's pretty much it.
That's awesome. So
with that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll into the drinking game. Remember, this is an opt-in game, and you don't have to be drinking alcohol to play along. Hail hydrate, drink water if you want to. So, the first rule of the drinking game is when a host or guest uses a non-SCA name when referring to somebody else on the show. Babyninja is 100% counts as his SCA name, just so y'all know.
It's my SCA nickname at this point, so yes. Because
it is.
Come to find out, Helga cannot say my SCA name, and I find it hilarious.
Kikuchi?
It sounds like Pikachu sneezed and farted really hard at the same time.
I'm sorry, we're not trying to be dismissive of you.
No, literally, so quick backstory before we get into like the drinking game. The reason I went from Pikachu to Babyninja is because nobody in my area could say my SCA name. And the first time a herald called...
Can you please say it?
I will, in just a second. The herald who was there, who's a good friend of mine from my local group, was like, cool. He looked at it, and he looked at me, and he went, Pikachu, get to the field. And I went, well, that's a thing now. Because he couldn't say it. So, yeah, like Sionji said, Kikuchi.
Kikuchi, right. Yes, Kikuchi.
Yeah, I'm going to mess that up so
That's
much,
fine.
and I'm really sorry.
That's fine.
Please forgive us the more we just... You know us, we love you, you love us.
Yeah, I love you a lot.
It's done with the utmost love in our heart.
I'm going to laugh at every time you do it, because for me, it's just humorous to watch it get butchered, because it's like, oh... I picked one that's going to make people just like, there's so many K's and like 3 or 4 I's in there and they just get smashed together.
Nice, like cadence though. Kikuchi. I like it. Yeah, that's do.
Okay. I'm reading that as like way dirtier than it's meant to, and I now can't unhear it.
Behave. I don't have my soundboard to get the like the Doge bonk noise, but bunk, back to horny jail.
So yeah, literally tonight is apparently like we have no fucks left. It's just.
I mean, this is definitely going to be the show.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the drinking game rules before I do the next announcement. Yes. When a person's pet appears on screen, and we're going to go with we're not continuously drinking for Kikuchi's dog on that one, because it's when she disappears from screen that we have to drink, because that's where she lives the entire show.
Yeah.
When somebody calls for a soapbox, or the audience calls us on a soapbox, when somebody mentions spite sprinkles or toe beans, and what is the guest rule of the evening?
anytime I say more than twice in a sentence.
We are screwed.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. This is like almost ostrich level of screwed. Bring a friend.
All right, who's putting their head in the sand first?
I don't like sand. It gets
Okay, so before we roll into the questions, I'm going to do the next announcement. So after almost a year of shows, this is episode 48, we've done enough bonus shows, and we've skipped a week for the Christmas holiday. We're rolling up onto a year worth of content and shows. We're going to start mixing it up. Please note that we want your feedback. Audience out there, your feedback matters to us so we can continue to develop the show and make it so it's something you want to watch. So we're going to start trying new things. So please expect the format to change pretty rapidly every show while we play around with new ideas to try to keep it fresh for everybody. So again, after the show, submit your feedback. You can submit feedback on Facebook, Discord, or you can private message me. If you want to say something hateful, you should just post that publicly because that's more fun that way.
And then I get to comment on it.
Yeah, I know. Then we can all comment on it. It's like great.
So this may actually be like one of our like best/worst ideas was having Kikuchi on this show.
It might be.
By the way,
So-
I have 0 fucks to give after like a 14-hour day yesterday, and I'm on 4 hours of sleep. So it's gonna be great.
Everybody's week has just been psychotic.
It's been a bad.
So one of the things that we're changing up tonight is we want the guest and our audience to hold the spotlight. So most of the questions are guest only. So Sassy and myself will probably pop in here and there to like give a little feedback or like a clarification question, but the majority of the questions tonight are about Kikuchi, so we can get to know him, and so you guys can get to know him as well as we have behind the scenes. Beyond that, once we get through the guest questions, we only have 3 questions for everybody on the show. And then it's time for audience questions. We are now trying to make more space for more audience questions. You guys give your time to watch the show and hang out with us. So we want to make sure that the questions that pop into your head for the guests that are on here get answered that evening. And so we're going to try this out and see if the format works. Again, we'd love your feedback. And we're going to start rolling into those questions. Sassy, you want to do the first one?
Sure. All right. So, Babyninja.
Mm-hmm.
Really hard. You gotta really think carefully about it. It's super
42.
loaded question. That's not the answer. How did you find the SCA?
So I found the SCA working at a pizza place after I got out of the army. I came back. I was working with a high school best friend of mine, and he knew I had been a martial artist for like 7 years. He introduced me to one of our other drivers and was like, hey, he does this really cool thing with armor. And I was like, okay, cool, because that tells me absolutely everything I need to know. And he opened up his trunk and went, cool, here's my helmet, here's a shield, here's a sword. And I went, this is cool. And he goes, put the helmet on. Okay, and he hits me and I go, okay, how do I do this? So I went to my first practice, watched the stuff, and then went and did the weird thing where instead of going to practice, I went and made my own gear with one of the local guys here. And then have fought ever since. I still have my Viking garb, which is really weird on me. And the picture of my first kit is atrocious. God, is that helmet bad. But I found it working at a pizza place delivering pizzas.
What? Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Wait.
I was delivering pizzas, and one of the other drivers was in the SCA and showed me his stuff, and then I went to practice.
Okay. Oh, I thought for some reason in my brain it skipped a bunch, and it was like I had a helmet and I found it as a pizza driver, and I was like,
Nope.
wait, what?
No. A buddy,
Right.
He's my friend now. He was another driver, and he showed me his gear. And I was like, oh, this is cool. You know, woohoo, a sword and shield. And then he hit me, and I was like, okay, so we actually hit people. Cool.
Yeah.
Then I realized you can't actually hip toss people and a bunch of other stuff they almost got in trouble for, but that's a whole nother story.
Well, we might get into that story.
So I do like we have asked everybody's SCA origin story, and like behind the scenes, everybody's like, oh, we all have the SCA origin story. Mm-hmm. We haven't had a single origin story that is the same.
Nope.
That's actually one of the cool things about the SCA. We recruit all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So next question comes from Petrona. Babyninja, What is Doggo's name, and what is Doggo's preferred treat?
This is
So this
very
is also where you
important.
drop like for treats, by the way.
Yeah. And
Doggo
also
here,
very important.
who I now have her attention. Her name is Lana. Hi,
Look
Poppers.
at her. Oh, baby. She's like, look at my belly.
No, this is the dad. Get away from your computer and come pet me. Lana likes any food I will give her. I have these cookies here that are for me, and if you notice, she got up when I grabbed them.
He looked interested.
See? She doesn't care. She's like, you have food? You mean my food? That's all she cares about. Her name is Lana, though.
If you're not liking this show right now, you hate dogs and you're like a communist. I don't know. Although, is really being a communist a bad thing anymore? I'm not sure. Yeah. Lana is our doggo cam doggo. She's our supermodel doggo. And
She is our supermodel doggo.
she is such a fucking doll. All right. So this is
You
from
guys
Kay.
can't see it now, but she's now, like, you can see her nose, right?
You got her attention.
She's now staring at me like, Dad, where's the cookies?
Oh God. It's in the lower left-hand corner, that little black spot. That's her nose. Oh, poor little baby. All right. So this next question's from Kay. As a non-peer, how has your perspective changed over the course of the pandemic on your path to peerage? I like the
Well, this is where it gets really fun. So one, you have to remember that just because somebody's a peer doesn't mean they're not a complete shit show. And by shit show, I mean somebody that just needs to GTFO. Two, we are human. We will screw up. Three,
no, I'm perfect. What are you talking?
Tulia, you're wearing a bottle cap hat. Like, we're just a bunch of goofballs.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a peer. I am beyond reproach.
Okay. The other thing that's changed is I realized that like once all these barriers have started breaking between kingdoms, that literally no peerage circle is the same. The Laurels from the West and the Laurels and Meridies have completely different ideas. Because I've talked to Tulia, I've talked to Laurels here in the kingdom, I've talked to Pelicans all over the gnome world. Not only does nobody have the same idea, the peerage circles work entirely differently. So, can we just realize that they're literally like their own islands? Work with it, have fun, and occasionally bring them food.
I would like to note, I believe that Babyninja has feels because he just totally skipped that question.
How? How has it changed? Like, I've realized that, like, you can be human. You're not perfect. You need to tell people when to get the hell out. And that, like, every kingdom is entirely different. So what I've learned here in Meridies is not going to work the same when I move to the west, or when I move to the east, or when I move
There you go.
to
Now
North
you
Shore.
answer the question because you framed it as an I.
Oh. Don't. Helga, do not eat the guest. Slash our tech guy.
Hey, I was about to say, isn't this where we're supposed to pick on the guest? He puts up with us all the time and
He
tries to
does
get us
put
to
up with
bust
us.
up on camera.
Oh man, and he's normally in the background making.
That's
us-
awkward. That's really awkward.
I'm gonna break you, I swear.
Don't do it to doubt. Maybe
Okay.
later. Let's not right out of the gate. Wait.
Shall we go to the next question?
Yes, let's.
This is just like, you know, when you get like a bunch of really hyped up people around the fire and they're one beer in, they're not enough beers in to like mellow
I'm
out
like
yet, but they're like one beer in.
half a
That's
drink
this show
in.
right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, this one comes from Thorin. What's your favorite weapon system and why is it polearm?
So there's two answers to this. There's a smartass one that Duke Tom and I and son of a bitch, I'm now losing SCA names. A bunch of the other polearm fighters that I've met. So polearm is the one true weapon style. Don't believe me? Fight me. Let's do this. The real reason is because I have been a martial artist for a long time, and I picked up two weapon styles when I started. Flexible weapons such as the chain whip and the staff. And I love the staff. You can do so many things. Since you can't do flexible weapons in the SCA, I went with the other one. And it's just the thing that calls to me. I don't like having a shield. It gets in my way. My footwork is atrocious with a shield. I am much more comfortable with a glaive because I can do anything I want and I can move the way that I'm comfortable.
That was
Accepted.
pretty succinct, actually. I don't.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add to this, Helga?
Nope. These are all the guest questions, anyways.
I know.
The
but I'm
amount of
like, wow, we're
times
gonna
I have
blow
been
through,
asked
like-
that question is insane. You would not believe it.
So we had like 30 questions that were literally submitted just for you, Baby
I am
Ninja.
not surprised.
And
I got so many people who were like, "Hey, you're gonna be on the show. How do I send them questions?" Not to me. Let me direct you to these ladies because I'll get in trouble if I see them.
So we culled a few, but we have far more questions for you than we probably have for any guest we've had so far, mainly because we're not really going to answer them. But I'm also like, we're really like moving.
So to answer chat, Harmony, amazingly, I don't fight at full range for my glaive a lot of the time, but I will fight in A range and flat snap you with a glaive. And Ulrich, yes, Your Excellency, I will work on that. Thank you.
Okay. But if you're going to answer questions on the show that are in the chat, you've got to actually read the questions first.
So
So we
Harmony
can
said,
share it with the class.
Harmony said, besides, reach the thing.
Yeah.
I don't always fight at max range. I will fight like in their face and flat snap them. Graf Ulrich from Meridies said, use your glaive footwork with your shield. You'll be amazed how much your shield isn't in your way. Yes, Your Excellency, I will work on that. Thank you for the input.
I was about to say, you can also fight, with a heater like mine. That's never in the way unless you want it to be. All right, we ready for the next question?
I can't answer this question. I have nothing to add. I'm just, hey guys, how you doing?
What's your question next?
Okay, so this one's from Tank. What was the reason why you decided on your persona?
So when I first started, I had the guy that helped me build my armor ask me the question, who is the coolest historical warrior you can think of? And I was like, Celts are cool. And I sat on it for a while and I was like, I've spent years studying like actual Japanese martial arts. I'm gonna go a samurai, and I've just gone with it ever since. I got the armor from my now knight when my former Squire brother stopped playing, and I haven't looked back. Although now I'm working on a steel fighting kit because it's entertaining.
That could be fun.
Eventually, I'll be in like a 14th century coat of plates for shits and giggles.
Well, I'm here for that. Just having been in the SCA as long as I have, I feel like everybody has to go through a 14th century phase. If they don't like 100% commit to it, they've got to have that phase. Here's Helga. Have you seen this? All of this?
I mean,
14th
I might
century,
even, just to watch Helga's face, I might even wear tights with the 14th century armor.
No, don't wear tights. No, it is in tosses. That was really weird. I'm sorry. That was weird.
All I can think of is the SCA story. It's not gay. They have pockets.
Now I see every time I have a female presenting friend that's like, my dress has pockets. Waka, 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 waka.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, but that was actually a thing for a little while with tights. Like, there was, when we were going through a very masculine phase in the world, and that was used as a derogatory term, i.e. being gay, which is not, because I would like to point out, and so to get guys into tights to do 14th century stuff, they determined that they needed to have pockets because that meant that they weren't dance tights at that point in time. So it like shortcut the toxic masculinity around like what was acceptable to still be seen as a man, and it was motherfucking pockets.
You know what though? So I always go back to like the Renaissance because the Renaissance is my hometown. Like that's where I grew up. That's where it is the place of comfort for me. And there was a thing in the Renaissance in the 16th century about the well-turned calf, the male calf on the leg, like the well-turned calf. And the only way you can see that beautiful part of the male body is if you're wearing skin tight, essentially tights, leggings. And it was a whole thing. For like from the 13th all the way to really the end of the 18th century, it was this whole thing about like the male leg is like the most shapely part of the male body, and let us celebrate it and let us admire it. And it became a thing that, you know, women were attracted to. And we've lost that entirely now, which is terrible because honestly, like man calves are really actually very nicely shapely, you know, like they got good gams. So,
But were they tights?
oh, they were tight.
You have to.
It's literally like in my head, I'm like, man, I'm gonna just throw out the Robin Hood Men in Tights line and just
Oh,
leave
you
it.
are. Or men in tights,
Tights.
Yeah, no.
All
So,
right. So the next question is from me, and we're going to build on your persona. There's persona questions for a little while.
What will I do?
How did you come? Or this one's from Antonio. How did you come up with the name you use on the show, and does it match your SCA persona?
The name I use on the show, meaning Babyninja.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't pick Babyninja. That was given to me.
yeah, I feel like that was something that was bestowed.
It started out as a reference between Countess Fortune and I can never Mistress Elizabeth, I think is her SCA name. I was going to Gulf Wars, and I had stuff for Anton, and I was delivering stuff, so I had to go find them. So the first time ever meeting them, I walk in my Viking garb because I had just gotten on site and was like, "Hey, I'm so and so here with stuff for Anton." And they went, "He said you had a Japanese persona," and they just like looked at me funny for like half a second. Then we set his stuff up. Reference the Sex Island joke in Anton's episode. And then after that, apparently when they were talking to Anton, they were like, he's just like a baby ninja. He just showed up out of nowhere. And it has stuck ever since. And okay, like I go with it. It's one of those things where when you get a nickname like that, you just run with it.
There was a second part of that question. Where did it go? Okay. So how did you come with? Oh, right.
How does it match my SCA?
How does it match your SCA persona? Yeah.
I mean,
it doesn't.
Not really. It's just kind of something that came up. Like, so I could deep dive into like the samurai versus ninja thing, but like my persona is not that of a ninja. It's that of a like eighth son of a Japanese daimyo. So it's not. It's just something that they came up with as a joke, and it has stuck ever since.
Awesome.
There you go.
And it's now known by 90% of the SCA, apparently.
Well, this show is not helping that.
No, nor it's not.
Unfortunately. Let's see here. So this is from Antonio. If your persona is or has ties to the historical shinobi, what are your thoughts on bringing the espionage elements of the role onto the battlefield in the often neglected pursuit of combat scouting?
So, one, I actually did a deal a long time ago to do what I called a 24-hour battle, where it's literally like you get up at 7 a.m., you start fighting at 8, which is weird for SCA people, and you don't stop until 8 o'clock the next morning. You have a castle, you do the whole siege thing, which I would love to have espionage. Now, here's the problem with the idea that most people don't think about. The most effective ninjas were the daughters of daimyo that they would send to the town of another daimyo that would just hang out for years, being waitresses, being courtesans, whatever, and they would get all the information and then come back. We don't have the time in a melee or an event to do that. And realistically, like, it'd be really bad right now to trick somebody into telling you their darkest secrets and then using that against them later. So the idea of forward scouting is fantastic. If you had a larger field where you couldn't see the other force, do it to it. I would love it. I think that's about it, actually, for that one.
You know, back when I joined the SCA almost 30 years ago, God, I'm old, there was this whole like culture of spies and like quote unquote kidnapping and all this stuff where it was all very much like consensual. It was actually really funnily enough, like a very consensual activity where like somebody would jump out of the bushes as you're just walking down the street and they would be like, can I kidnap you? And you'd be like, okay. And then they would just take you off to like another location where people would, give you food and drink and treat you really great until somebody noticed, or, sent a letter or something like, we've kidnapped, so-and-so. And if you want them, it will take, you have to best our best fighter in combat or something like that. And I don't see that anymore. That was actually a really fun part about it. And you would see things too, like the poisonings at feasts that would happen where somebody, if you had like a, especially like a Borgia feast, like a themed feast for like 15th century Italy or something. And you would go around and you would either, one that I remember was like, you would drop a coin or something in somebody's drink and they would drink it down. And they would see the coin at the bottom of it and they'd be like, oh God, I've been poisoned. And, and there's very dramatic deaths and everything. And people would have to figure out who was the poisoner. Like, I don't see that a lot anymore.
That would be a lot of fun. I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, it was a total thing in the West. Like back in the 90s when I joined, that was a complete thing at that time. And it was a ton of fun. And I got kidnapped a couple of times consensually. I said yes. And then I was treated wonderfully by whoever it was that quote unquote kidnapped me. And then they had to go, at the time it was all fringy people that were doing this. And so we were doing boffer fightings and my boyfriend would go out and he would have his boffer sword and he would like fight the other guy and beat him and get him back. And like, it was just ridiculous. And it was fun. It was good, ridiculous fun. So I would love to see that.
That would be amazing. Also, Blake in the chat said that I really hope that the West remains alive with the East and meridies for Penzik. Otherwise, we're going to have to keep Babyninja out of camp when we're doing war prep.
How does that mean?
Blake, it doesn't matter if I'm there for war prep. I'm a missile for my kingdom, so I just get sent random directions and then like explode, and that's it. That's how I work.
Leaving all those one-liners alone. All right, so next question comes from K-Dance. Babyninja, you're a millennial. We had to look this up, by the way, to make sure.
You're kind of like at the very end of the millennial. You're like the ass end of millennial.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing you've been accused of doing on behalf of people your age? What's the most annoying thing you've been asked to do because of your age?
Not having a real job, getting a real job. At which point I look at them and go, hi, thank you for calling IT. Have you tried turning it off and back on again? And then walk away.
I would like to know that was 100% a shot at me right before the show.
I was going to say but what about in the SCA?
In the SCA, I haven't had a problem. When it comes to like me being a millennial at all.
Yeah. Well, I'm at the ass end of Gen X. I'm kind of in this weird like gray spot of Gen X and millennial. Like there's 2-year gap. Gen X ends at 77, and then millennial begins in 1980, and then I was born in 78. So I speak both languages. And so there's a really weird like division where like I identify with both, but I'm not either. Do you feel that way about millennial versus Gen Z? Like, do you have
no. So and my defining moment, I had this talk with a Gen Z friend of mine, is I grew up watching cell phones go from flip phones and Nokias to these nonsense. Legit. I have down here, one of the original special edition releases of the silver and gold Pokemon Game Boy Color that they don't make anymore. So like, I remember all that, and then Gen Z's like, oh, I've had an iPhone since I was rah, rah, rah. And I'm like, cool, I got a cell phone in high school and it was a flip phone and I broke it twice.
Was it a Nokia? Because those were the best.
No, that's why it broke. It wasn't a Nokia.
I actually had a Nokia break on me in 2005. It was very memorable. I was like, I opened it up and and I'm like, this is not supposed to happen. This is what the fuck?
Now, outside the SCA, the real most annoying thing on top of those is when people look at me and go, why don't you just get a degree? And I look at them and go, I have. People look at me like with hair like this and they see me doing like the SCA and they're like, you don't have a college degree. You should go get one. I go, I have one. And I guarantee you I will run circles around you. Give me a computer.
Yeah. All right. So we do the next one?
Yep. Next one.
Okay. So I think this one's mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is from Fortune dearest
God.
Ninja, who is going to be, actually, by the way, Fortune is going to be our guest next week. But I won't be on the show. It will be our special guest, Baroness Zara, and Fortune will be our fabulous guest. So she asks, dearest baby ninja, what is the most unexpected thing that has come from having friends across many kingdoms?
Oh, man. It's a toss-up between all the fun random things that have happened at camp that are way too hazy from drinking, and I've slept since then to remember. And I have ended up in 5 courts from different kingdoms that I don't belong to, and seeing how that stuff works. And then being dragged into a West Kingdom court because certain people decided to be fun to just not tell me this was going to happen. I'm in sweaty armor and like, cool, go sit in front of the king.
That's what you got to do. Oh, so what was the award you got?
I got the Defender of the West.
The Defender of the West. Now, you know you're really great if you got the Offender of the West. That was an order that was opened and closed during one reign. I really feel like it should be opened again. You know, if I ever reign again, ever, it would be fun. Here reopens the Order of the Offender of the West.
I mean, I think that's solid.
What's
All
that?
right, we ready for the next question, Baby Ninja?
Go for it.
This one's about the show. This one comes from Antonio. As a technical force behind the show, what input, if any, do you have on the creative direction of the show?
The thing that you guys are looking at on the screen right now, I basically decide who goes where. As far as that's it. As far as like the questions, the format, what these ladies say, what they're wearing, like that's it. I can rearrange these squares and they won't know the difference. I have random things I've been putting in the question box because they wouldn't give me the questions and they have no idea what's there. I have free reign over this. There's now a bunny under the question because I can.
So I would like to do a little bit of input on this one. If that's okay.
Go for it.
So I would say that Baby Ninja actually is like an equal partner, especially when it comes to the Discord. And like where we take the show and if we take breaks or anything else like that. Where Sassy and I are up front of the camera, we try to make sure that the crew has just as much say in what we're doing. The crew doesn't have say in what we're wearing, but like how the show continues to function and go. Without them, we could not do it. So we try to make sure that their time is honored as much as possible. And so I will tell Baby Ninja, I hope he feels that way, because we try to make sure that our crew feels that way. So
yeah, I feel like
that was very defensive, by the way. So I'm sorry.
A little, but I think it's important though because Baby Ninja and Technomancer, Carius, who we will have on a upcoming show, they were there almost from the very beginning, and they are integral to why the show is as good as it is. You go back and watch like the first 3 episodes of this show.
It's like all over the place.
I feel like we should like offer do-overs. Well, we are going to do a do-over at least with Her Majesty of the West, Vera, who was our first guest. But the reason why this show is as good as it is and as professional as it is 100% Baby Ninja and Technomancer. And yeah, that's the rest of it is just, Helga and I showing up and being ridiculous once a week. So
I took that as like creative as far as designing the show. Like I just do the stream part, guys. Like the Discord, it wasn't in my mind for that call because it was the show itself. Mm-hmm. So,
but you guys are very much involved in kind of every decision that we make. We do it very much as a team. So there's the team that we have is Baby Ninja, Carius, Ula, Katrina, and Reese. Like there's 5 people that are very much involved with kind of the ins and outs, other than me and Helga, on a weekly basis. And everybody kind of there's a division of labor, and everybody though has a kind of an equal input about something. And we don't usually, unless it's like a real serious matter, make unilateral decisions about anything without running it past anybody else. So we're a very like egalitarian like group of people, and there's far more people than you probably realize that are very active and very important to the show, and Babyninja is one of them. But arguably, probably with him and Technomancer, I don't want to like value anybody over anyone else, but I don't think the show would be as good as it is without those two. So yeah. Anyways, that was my weird.
So now that we've tried to like be like, no, really, Babyninja, you have a vote, we should probably go on because now we sound defensive.
I have
No,
Cookie
I don't
all
think
over me. This is poorly planned. It's showing up really bad on my garb.
I honestly don't think it was defensive. I think it's actually important to state though, because they do background work and they're not the people that are visible. And so, you know, Helga and I are the people that are visible. We get all the glory. But the reason why we're able to do what we do is 100% the people in the background help us. And, you know, we want to make sure that, you know, everybody understands that it is a community effort. It's not just me and Helga, you know, being ridiculous every week. So, and now I'm going to try to pour this into this and probably do it badly. And so we should
What's
move
the worst
on.
that could happen?
So it's technically your question next. Do you want me to just read your question for you?
I'll do it. I'll do it. I got it. I'm a pro. I only spelled minimally. All right. And not on myself, by the way. Let's see. So Antonio also asks, what are your favorite behind the scenes stories from making the show?
So my favorite moments are when I can make really bad puns. It's the best thing ever. Because they're all on purpose.
Stop
And
it.
I get that look every time.
Do you
Whoa.
realize I hate puns?
I was about to say, you're very punny, Babyninja.
Here's one. What did Hippo 2 say to Hippo 1 when Hippo 1 called Hippo 2 fat?
What?
That's very hypocritical of you.
I love you just a little bit harder right now.
And I hate you just a little bit more.
I mean, he is just horsing around on camera.
Don't you start! Do not start! So my beloved apprentice is a master of puns, and she will drop them left, right, and center. And she is so good at it. And every single time I'm just like, yeah, because I hate puns.
Puns are glorious.
I just can't. I just, you know.
As long as they're on purpose.
The reaction I give him because he needs that emotional reinforcement, and thus I give him that reaction because then he keeps doing it.
Yeah, I know. And then you keep seeing me annoyed, and so it's a great like little, you know, reciprocal feedback loop for you, huh, Helga?
and now chat has started with the puns.
Well, see, that's the thing I don't like about puns is they're infectious. They're like a social disease.
It's like their punishment.
Shut your... It's like you can't stop. People are all like, I'm also punny. And then you're like, God, can we just have a conversation? Yes, this is how you annoy Sassy from like 0 to 60 is like start dropping puns. And now this is the thing. I know as soon as we get back together face to face, everybody's just going to do nothing but pun around me. And then I'm going to hate you all. And I'm not going to talk to all of you. And I'm going to leave.
I mean, you shouldn't come to Punderdome then.
I will not. Well, now here's the difference though. If I willingly enter a space where I know there's going to be a pun competition, that's different.
I mean,
if it breaks out around me.
That was probably one of the most hilarious and fun times I have had at an event in a long time, because the judges would give us just a topic and we had to pun off of it, and it was two of us going back and forth. You could not use the same pun, and if you slipped up, the crowd could call you on it, and then you were ejected and the winner stayed. And then it was like this pun battle extraordinary, and like Bjorn and I got yelled at by the judges because he walked up and he said something, and I just dropped a pun right off of that, and we went without a feed, like we went without a prompt.
Wait, which Bjorn are we talking about? Our Bjorn?
Yeah, our Bjorn.
Our Bjorn.
Bjorn of don't have food in your mouth when he's talking because you're going to choke to death. From
I count Bjorn.
So Tulia, what I'm hearing is what you don't want is a pandemic outbreak.
I hate your face. The problem is I actually really do like puns. I just get to the point where I'm like, everybody's like pun, and I'm like, can we just move on? More interesting. Yeah,
Well, so speaking of moving on to more interesting, are you ready for choose one, no explanation?
Yes.
Oh, I can't be
Awesome.
like Thorfinn and explain every one of them. But
No, see, he doesn't follow rules.
but
But when you become a duke, you don't have to follow rules either.
challenge accepted.
First one, text message or call?
Text message.
Text message.
Text.
That's why I'm a millennial.
Sassy?
Witches or wizards?
Wizards.
Helga?
Oh, I'm going to go with witches tonight. I changed from last time I answered this.
I'm going to go with witches. Witches get shit done.
Piercings or tattoos? You can't say both.
Tattoos.
I go with tattoos.
Piercings.
Interesting. Let's see. Wings, lemon pepper or buffalo?
Buffalo.
Helga?
Lemon pepper.
I go with lemon pepper. Not a fan of the buffalo sauce.
Oh my god, I love buffalo. I'm just in the mood for lemon pepper buffalo wings because I haven't had them since I got diagnosed celiac.
Ooh.
So, pizza, New York or Chicago?
I actually haven't had either.
Thin crust or thick crust?
Thick crust.
Thin crust.
Thin.
So
Babyninja, I don't know if we can be friends anymore.
Look,
I've had-
my only experience with thin crust is so thin it will literally slice my mouth open. So if you find one that's not razor sharp, I will totally try it and then change my answer. But until then, I like having a mouth that's not cut by razors.
So normally, though, New York thin crust is so laden with grease, it's pretty floppy. So that was my one experience, and I'm going to piss off all the New Yorkers right now that are watching. My one experience with a proper New York pizza, because my ex was from Manhattan. He was like, you have to have this. This is like the best pizza in New York and all this shit. Was literally like, A, it's just pissing grease off of it. And B, it was something that you could literally roll in like 4 different dimensions to be about this big. It started off this big, and you could get it down to this big because it was just,
It's a pizza taquito.
it was greasy as fuck. And I'm just like, okay. Little California girl over here was like, you know what? I just like pizza. I don't have a preference. Pizza's great. So, but ask a Bostoner about, or Bostonian, sorry, about their pizza. They will say it's better than either Chicago or New York. And I also have questions about that, but just so you know, it's a thing. Anyway.
All right. So after the pizza rant, what we're gonna do is also, by
Wait,
the way,
was that
Baby
a
Ninja.
soapbox?
I mean, that might count as a soapbox. So, Baby Ninja, I want points that I didn't make you choose between Transformers 1 and Transformers 2, because I thought about doing that. So, we're going to roll into the last 3 questions of the show that are selected. And I'm going to tell the audience right now is a great time to submit your questions. Ask something that you want to know, Baby Ninja to answer. If you just specifically want Baby Ninja to answer, note that when you submit it. Otherwise, all 3 of us are going to answer. But we have time to kill. We would love to spend it with you guys. We're having a blast tonight. And we want to make sure that you guys have the platform to send us in questions, and we can answer what you want to know this evening.
We're on the last 3. That's it. We're at
Well,
45
no,
minutes.
it's not it, because we can
No,
go through. We
I
have
told you
500
we were screwing with the format.
But we also have 500 questions at our disposal. So we can keep going all night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Giggity.
Miss Sassy, the first general question is for you.
This is from Randall, aka Party. Kikuchi, how did you get involved with the Between Two Peers hosts and become part of the technical team?
I saw
You skipped down to the chat submitted questions. You skipped over the generals.
Fuck
Oh,
off.
no.
Okay. Well, you know what? Katrina is on it, so we're just going to do that.
Yep.
And then you get to ask the one that has the blue S next to it.
Yep. Nope. We're good to go. So,
See,
answer that one, Baby
see,
Ninja.
chat, this is not my fault. I didn't mess this one up.
You never mess things up, baby ninja.
You should see the amount of panic that goes on behind the screens.
Yeah, whatever.
How did I get involved? I saw the second episode, I think it was.
Probably.
And I was like, I messaged Helga. I was like, do you guys want help? because it was just chaos. Just chaos. And they both looked so panicked.
Well, that was back in the time too, where Facebook was not letting us live stream, or Zoom wasn't letting us live stream to Facebook. It was some sort of weird thing where like Facebook or Zoom had freaked out with all the amount of users that had suddenly signed up. And so there was some sort of weird like disconnect. And so we kept trying to like stream to Facebook, and we would get like, nope. And so we would have to like abruptly shift to YouTube, and that was a whole thing. So yeah. He sailed in to rescue us, though.
Yeah. And I will say that him and Carius messaged me within like the same hour and a half, I think it was. And they were both like, hey, do you guys want tech help? And I'm like, I'm going to hook you two up because I don't want to like write one of you guys off. And then we ended up with this amazing tech crew because they were super generous with their time as we were just like learning how to live stream and just jacking it up hardcore the entire time. So they saved us. I would like to note that both of them saved us.
Yeah, and it was funny because Helga basically messaged me and she said, I have like 2 people that are really eager to help us on this show. Would you be okay if we started like turning over like some of the technical stuff to other people? And I'm like, shit, yes, let's do that. So yeah, they basically volunteered, and we ended up with a really amazing crew. So, okay, so do you want to take the actual thing I skipped over, or
I'll totally take the thing you actually skipped over. I'm gonna go from there.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Comes from Michael, the hosts and guests of every Between Two Peer episode you've seen are in a fight. Who would win and why?
What are they using? Because that will determine the answer.
You get to define it. This is an open-ended question.
Oh, man.
I like how we just short-circuited him with this question.
No, it's not short-circuit. It's like... So, honestly, I think the people that would probably, like, hands down... go the furthest, and I'm talking real weapons here, like live edge, arrow, whatever, are going to be the top 3 are going to be Kunihil with a bow, Seto with a katana, and Ryu with a polearm, and 4th is going to be Anton with a polearm. I love you, Helga, but like
wait, you said
I would like to note that I am actually a little affronted I did not make this list.
I will. Hey, you can hang out with me and drink in the side.
I was going to say, so Sassy, what's your answer?
Wait, I have to answer this dumb question?
Yeah, all 3 of us have to answer this question.
Also, I'm betting on the fact that Seto is involved, and you two are just like, Seto, and that's how you lose.
I would like to note, a pretty individual doesn't stop me from fucking laying people low.
That's fair.
Okay, so out of all the guests and the hosts, well, I would say I'm probably easily the angriest. Just nobody really realizes that. And also, I'm willing to fight dirty. I really am. And I would want to have a tag team of me and Helga. Helga's got the weaponry. I've got the sheer fucking rage, fuck you, tiny human being anger. Past that, I would want Kunhild on my team because she's the brains of the outfit for sure. And if we're just going for like sheer brutality, I would literally just be like me, Helga, and Kunhild. And Ula, actually. I would throw Ula in there too. She knows how to use a sword and she's smart as fuck. So I want her on my team. What about you, Helga?
So open-ended question. What I'm going to do is I am going to narrow this down to a bar fight. So this involves pool cues, short mace-like weapons, and fists. And I'm going to 100% say that probably Ryu and myself are the ones that like punk rock out of that. I'm going to say that Sarah wins because she's just going to sit behind the bar. pouring drinks, waiting for everybody else to beat the shit out of themselves. Seto's gonna pretty boy his way out of it.
Rank, you said my mundane name, ding dong.
Damn it, sorry. But however, I'm gonna put the ultimate survivor of the bar fight ends up being Thorfinn.
Oh, for sure.
Because Thorfinn is a motherfucking bartender. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna step back, he's gonna watch everybody drink, and he's gonna hit the last motherfucker standing with the bar mace.
He has stopped so many bar fights, also been in so many bar fights. Like, you should just have a show of Thorfinn talks about his bar fights. Also, look at the popper. Yeah. So, yeah. The amount of times he's come home and been like, yeah, I stopped a bar fight. I just, like, broke a guy.
I know, that's the reason why I'm like, Thorfinn is ultimately going to win. Also, I want to put a close second to actually Duke Sven, because Duke Sven is a redneck motherfucker.
I also want to say...
I've had more than one row with that.
Did you see the text messages right here? Kelly Long, me. Kelly Long.
Yeah. I would like to note, I have said on air, Kelly. Also, I would also like to rank in there that the most brutal motherfucker in that entire place is going to be Bela. Hands down. The one person that is actually going to be a scary, brutal motherfucker that is way more punk rock than anybody else is going to be Bela.
Okay. All right. So, do we want to do a commercial break? Actually,
I do think that you need to go to the little Tulia's room?
I need to go to the little Tulia's room.
So, yes, the answer is we would love to do a commercial break.
All right, we're going to commercial, guys. Bye. I'm not going to count down because it'll look really weird, but bye.
Right. So normally he does.
At the Fairy Tales Chest, you can find a large selection of replica historic jewelry from various cultures, including Viking, Baltic, and Slavic. The artist is an immigrant from Ukraine, and as such, her biggest passion is various Slavic temple rings. All jewelry in the shop are reproductions of authentic archaeological findings. You can also find looms and weaving tools, as well as hand-forged sewing needles and complete sewing kit. The proprietor does band weaving herself, so most models of tools and looms have been personally tested. You can find the Fairy Tales Chest on Etsy at etsy.com/shop/thefairytaleschest. Happy shopping! Armlin makes high-quality medieval and Renaissance leather items for the reenactor, living history enthusiasts, and those who appreciate handmade items. From early period turn shoes to Tudor cowmouth shoes, even wooden pattens to keep you out of the mud. They carry a selection of standard footwear as well as creating custom items. If you don't see what you're looking for, send pictures or a reference and Armlin can likely make it. In addition to footwear, Armlin also makes leather jacks, bottles, and three-fingered gloves. Drinking vessels are impregnated with beeswax and lined in brewer's pitch. You can find them online at armlin.com or at facebook.com/armlin. Owl's Nest Wares creates one-of-a-kind inkle-woven trim and belts. Choose from a selection of pre-made items or contact the artist to create something to perfectly match your needs. They also make necklaces from colorful wooden beads to add a pop of color to your wardrobe. Check them out today and let them know that Between Two Peers sent you. You can find them on Facebook at Owl's Nest Wares. That's Owl's Nest Wares on Facebook.
Fucking timing.
Wow, that was
the home plate and
that was the perfect timing. Yes, we're live. That is the first time she has been back exactly when the commercials end.
I mean, that was.
I applaud that.
It has taken 48 episodes, and that timing was beautiful.
Thank you. Finally, I nailed it.
Doggo is not impressed though.
She's just literally like, "Daddy, pet my tummy."
I know, right? So
beautiful
downstairs, I can hear my husband and my puppy doing laps. And we've got the gruntles going on right now because this is all that I can put it is. So my puppy will find something that he thinks is a treasure. And I would like to note that that treasure must be destroyed. And then he runs around the house and he grunts like a bear. Like, if you've ever heard a bear going through the forest, like, tearing shit up, and, like, they get down and they're like, "Huh, rah, 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 rah." It's a fucking weird-ass sound, by the way. And I would like to note, when you hear it in your camp, not a good sound. And so, like, he does this around the house, and he grabs whatever it is, and he runs from one end of the house out, does a lap around the yard, runs back into the house, looks at both Hans and I, and is like, nope, I'm not done, and then does another lap. And this can be like, if you like jump at him, you can get him going in another lap until he's just like, no, I'm too tired to lap, and then he'll just like come back and bring whatever he is going to destroy in the next 10 minutes to you and be like, here, you hold this while I puppy nap. And now that I've just totally taken over the show about my puppy, it's your turn for a question, Sassy.
Yeah, okay. So this is from Thomas. What is on your anti-bucket list? I.e., what will you never try again?
Oh.
I thought you were taking my question.
For fuck's sake.
Hi, guys.
It's
Welcome
okay.
to a dumpster fire. I will never work on a at a call center again.
I mean, you should really probably think about this as a rated R question, Babyninja.
I won't cut somebody open for fun.
Wait, whoa!
Hard breaks.
Pumping the brakes here. That's some kinky shit.
You said you should think about this radar. Okay, cool. There you go. Now you guys want an explanation? You didn't ask for an explanation. You just said, think about it this way, okay? Plop.
So, in a rated R context, you have done hardcore knife play.
Yes.
Not your thing. Okay, cool. I was
so-
actually going to give our audience a little bit more context there than you sounding like you fucked a corpse. Okay, because that's kind of how it came across.
So the reason I won't is that I've been in enough knife fights. I know what actually happens to the human body. I'm good.
There is that. Man, I gotta follow that.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, I've had the rant of never blow a smoker.
Oh, that's terrible.
Never.
I've done
Ever
that.
in your life finish a smoker. That's terrible.
Let it shoot over your shoulder, on your chest.
Like, just
like,
do
anywhere
you smoke?
but-
Okay, this is like we're
Do a
not.
barrel roll.
Sorry, you have flavor that does not belong here.
has a flavor. Bad.
I'm trying to think of other things. Hard line. Cannot call somebody daddy in bed. I tried it once. I can tell you that is 100% a hard nipple killer for me. Doesn't work that way. Like, I'm out. I am out. Like, did
I'm
my
gonna go
one
home
try. Hard pass. Miss Sassy?
So, I mean, I could go into a laundry list of very rated R/rated X things that I'm a team player and I tried once and I'm just not into. So I'm trying to actually think of something that's not that. And I'm having a hard time because all my answers are actually the rated X.
I mean,
I don't like spanking. I got spanked a lot as a child. It's not sexy. I had a partner that thought it was and did not respect that is not fucking hot. That was a hard fucking no. Let's see. Butt stuff. I've tried it a couple of times. I've actually done it, so I'm the sort of person who's like, I'll give it a try once, but I'll try it again because maybe it just wasn't the right context. That's been something that I've tried a couple of times and I'm still just like not into it. Sorry, no. I've gotten a full wax, like everything. I did not like. Hard no. Let's see, what else?
See, and I just have the rule that if I'm getting waxed, they're getting waxed.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's literally like, I don't mind like partial waxing. I don't mind that, but like the whole fucking thing, especially the mons, that shit fucking hurts. The top part, that's the mons. For those of you who do not know female anatomy, is the top part, the triangle, essentially. That is painful as fuck. The sides, the taint, the ass, all of that. Yeah, okay, fine. You know, you can get used to that. Like I to be a woman is to suffer, right? That is a line where I was like, no, never a fucking again. And if it is a requirement for a partner, that partner can fuck the fuck off.
I would like to note that this is the perfect time to note that we have 69 people watching the show.
69, dude. There you go.
Giggity.
That is actually a legit answer to that question. That is an anti-bucket list. I've tried it once, never a fucking again. Fuck you, no.
Okay, so I have a waxer that prides in pulling everything in 5 pulls.
No.
Everything.
It hurts.
All done at once.
It fucking hurts, and I dislike. And it was not fun, and I don't want to suffer for a partner. Don't suffer so you can feel like I can fuck you now. Fuck you. No, I don't suffer for you to fuck me.
I agree with Cal Barter. That's 100% a soapbox. That's 100%
I think that
a
counts
soapbox.
as a soapbox, Sassy. Okay, so I'm going to ask the next question.
Mm-hmm.
This one comes from Ulrich.
Which Ulrich?
Where do you find
Ulrich
inspiration?
von Koos.
Okay.
Where do you find inspiration and why?
Well, generally, people like the two weirdos in the show here, all of my friends, the artists that I know, my household, and the half and half mix between spite sprinkles, because I'm going to fucking do it and you're going to watch me do it, and general want to learn and do better so I can teach it to the next generation.
Drink for spite sprinkles. Miss Sassy?
Where do I find my inspiration and why? I find my inspiration around everybody that I'm around. Honestly, yeah, actually, I can't feel inspired to do something unless I am actively around somebody that is inspired to also, inspiration breeds inspiration. So that is where I find my inspiration, is in other people that are inspired. Let's just say that. Helga?
I find inspiration in the love of what we do. And that can be anywhere from a newcomer that is full of the fucking stardust and full of the idealistic, view they haven't seen behind the curtain yet, all the way to our people that have been in since the beginning. And they stay because of their love. They stay because they've seen all the hard stuff and they've survived the hard stuff, and they have come back to a place where they can let it go. And so I find inspiration in all those people. Because there are times where you want to just walk away and you want to quit, or you don't want to try harder. And instead you can draw from them, and you can give back to them. And that's one of the ways, we've almost done the show for a year nonstop, because we have people that randomly message us and say, holy shit, thank you so much. I look forward to this every Friday. Or you have people on the field, like Sassy, this is where our friendship started, that walked up and said, I love to watch you fight.
I love watching her fight. She's so much fun to watch.
I have never told Sassy this. She does not know that at that point in time, I was debating on quitting fighting, because it hurt. Every time I fought, I was breaking scar tissue in my shoulder. So I will tell you, reach out to other people and tell them you're the reason why they stay. Or you're the reason why they're there. Or you enjoy watching them do it. Because those are the people that have kept me here. And so I find inspiration through the people that have joy to give. And when they give it so freely and so honestly in this society. It is amazing, and I can't find it anywhere else in the world. It's the reason why I'm so protective of this society.
That's a little toe beans. Just saying. Radar texted the message, and she's like, toe beans. And I'm like,
Drink for toe beans.
Legit toe beans. I did not know that. Drinking, number one. I did not know that. So Helga and I have had many very raw, intimate conversations over the years. And the very first kind of like introduction that we got to each other was me literally walking up to her and being like, I really love watching you fight. You just have so much fun, fighting. I can see the joy and the enthusiasm for it, and fucking hell, yes, go you. I knew that out of that, like, she had told me that she was a kind of weirdly intimidated to talk to me before that. I did, which I think is hysterical, but also legit, right? As somebody you just see at a distance, or you're randomly like passing socially in the mix and miasma of the SCA, and you probably don't really talk to, like, you have, it can take a lot to like break the ice with somebody, even within the tiny microcosm of the SCA. But yeah, I'd never heard that before. That was a moment where you were like ready to fuck it and just leave. And
it's a moment in time where I had pieces of bone in my shoulder.
Yikes. That's ouchy.
Yeah. But like literally hearing that stopped me from walking away.
Well, no. Just that? No. No.
It's one of my favorite compliments, actually. I don't ever need to be the best fighter. Like, to make this all about me for a moment and have a me jerk off.
No, jerk your fucking self off. I don't care.
Phrasing.
I don't need to be the best fighter in the SCA. I don't need to be some fucking super duke that nobody can beat. I want to be the person that is so fun to fight that it brings back joy for those that have lost it.
Or just as fun to watch from the people from standing on the sidelines. Like, that's
what
me.
I want to be.
That was literally why I came up to you, and I was like, I just enjoy the shit out of every fight you fight, because you look like you're having the best time of your life.
Yep.
And that's like the coolest
all I actually give a shit about in the SCA. Is because that is giving back the gift that you gave me.
Okay,
so,
I have serious.
Now that we've touched each other's toe beans.
Oh, we all touched it. And here's Babyninja. My toe beans haven't been touched.
Like, Babyninja is emotionally satisfied right now, and just 100% just like, oh, look, there's a love fest going on.
My mission here is done. Goodbye.
Oh no, you have more questions, motherfucker. All right, so are we ready for for chat submitted questions?
Yes. So the first one that I asked after I fucked it all up, I'm going to number 2. So this one comes from our dear Baron Logan, who is the host of Ask the Knights. And if you're not watching it, what are you even doing with your life? I got you, fam. Babyninja, is it hard for you not being as cute or as popular as your doggo?
No, not at all. Let's be real here. I make self-deprecating jokes because I just don't give a shit about my self-esteem. I really don't. The fact that everybody loves my dog is fantastic. She is adorable. And everybody that loves her, cool. She gets giant bags of treats, and that happens. Doesn't bother me whatsoever. Because look at this ugly mug. I get hit in the face regularly. It's whatever.
Also, I would like to note she's off camera. You have to drink.
I've been drinking this whole time.
Yeah, you're not nearly drunk enough.
Literally, my goal in this entire show is to get you drunk on camera, because you deal with us drunk on camera.
Here's the thing. He's not drinking alcohol.
No, I am.
What are you drinking?
Angry Orchard. I'm about 4 in.
So you're not drinking. Angry Orchard is like literally orange juice or apple juice.
So Babyninja actually has a tell when he's drinking. And now he wants to know. So Babyninja, when he's not drinking, you can actually tell by the cheek muscles here. So his expressions get wider and rounder as he drinks.
Puppers.
He is not appreciative of me right now.
Meh.
You knew this was going to be a roast. You knew this was kind of
I
going to be
mean,
a
I
roast.
would not expect anything different, which is why I'm just going to cause as much chaos as possible and ruin you guys so it's not even serious anymore.
I don't think it can cause as much chaos as me and Helga together, honestly.
All right. So, Babyninja, I'm totally going to steal this question for a moment and say I adopted a pupper that's way fucking cuter than me. So, yeah, I understand why you guys all want to see him on camera.
I can't wait till we are in our new place and I can have my kitten, my baby kitten, who will literally be all up in my fucking grill the entire time on this show. She lives upstairs right now. Where we are I film in the basement. So little baby girl can't be in my face all the time like she wants to be upstairs. So anyways, yeah, in a few weeks you'll meet my little baby girl. Anywho's,
I'm
where
very
we going?
excited.
Where are we going with this fucking conversation? I don't even know anymore.
I get to ask the next question.
Yeah, do it.
Okay. This one comes from Ulrich. Babyninja, what is your favorite SCA moment?
So I categorize them into non-fighting, tournament, and melee moments because picking one just drives my brain nuts. So non-fighting is watching my knight win the Meridian Grand Tournament. The brain. Great weapons tourney. It's something he holds a record for, and watching him be able to do that consistently and how much he loves it because it's sponsored by the Roses of Meridies is one of the greatest things that I get to see. I love our artists. I love all the stuff, but that right there is yes, that's the thing. Tourney fighting is the time that I got to fight all the way through to the quarterfinals at a Daggers and Hemlock, which is about 20 minutes from me, with a glaive, and then got a present from the sitting queen at the time. That was one of the first times I had ever had a sitting royal to give me something saying, your fighting is fantastic. Melee was the last Great Western I was at when I got to run around with Hans and just wreck people. Because watching people be terrified of Hans and then realize there's a 250-pound samurai coming at them right behind Hans is the best expression you will ever get from a human being.
I'll tell you that watching that was tits.
It's a toss-up at that Great Western between that one and when I stood up the whole group of people that charged in the castle battle after Havek just disappeared. I don't know who they are. They're a whole household. They're all black shields, all black garb, black painted helmets, and I held up 12 of them, plus the rest of the army behind them. So it's a toss-up between those two.
All right, Sassy, you ready to choose the next question?
You want me to go chronologically or just choose random?
No, just choose randomly.
Oh, fuck. Okay, cool. Let's see here.
Hey, look.
Him really, besides his little eyeballs?
It's Land Shark.
It's Land Shark.
Oh, booger. He's so
With his
cute.
little radar ears.
I got to meet him the first day. So Helga calls me. I bought a dog. You want to meet him? And I'm like, fuck yes, I do. So she hauls ass from the Humane Society or whatever. She got little booger face.
Yeah.
And doesn't even have a name. This little thing. And in the back of her monster truck is this little black soot sprite of a German Shepherd.
I just like that literally you can only see his eyeballs on camera.
Can you get him to go over by the brick? If you can get him to go on the brick side, you might be able to see him.
Here, come here.
He is such a sweetheart. Anyway, yeah, this thing, he was a couple of months old, all paws, all legs, just no software installed.
He needed a firmware update.
He needed, yeah, he definitely did. Well, he needed some software at baseline.
I would like to note that there was so little dog software installed in this boy that the first time he ran upstairs, he didn't realize it was an incline. He just accordioned himself like Wile E. Coyote into the base of the stairs. Like, it was
Such a doll. He was,
almost mildly horrifying if I wasn't laughing so hard.
and here's the part where I'm like, I'm so glad this is not my dog and this is your dog. That is adorable, but Jesus. Like, really, though.
He's a very good boy. He's actually curled up on his bed now. He's like,
He's
oh, I
so
said hi on camera. I go to sleep now.
And honestly, though, if anybody can make a dog, like, awesome, it's going to be Helga. Helga knows how to speak dog really well. So, okay, I'm going to ask an actual question. I'm going to say, this is from Lucas. Favorite turning style to watch and fight, or fight, and why? Favorite turning style to watch and or fight, and why?
I like not counting great weapons when it comes to watching, because a lot of people find that boring. I really like watching two buckler fighters go at it, because that is, you have to have as much, if not more, footwork than great weapons. And they're just downright savages, because they're like, I have a 12-inch pie plate. I'm not going to bludgeon you with it and the weapon in my other hand. I really like fighting glaive. Like, that's just a thing.
Helga?
So I'm going to say a very traditional, showy as fuck pade arms.
Oh, those are good.
I really enjoy, so I have this little like internal freak out about fighting with different weapon styles, which is really kind of funny. And also, by the way, your current thing on the question, but there's a little internal freak out about like, okay, cool, I need to pick up matched weapons. Maybe I've never handled these weapons before. And watching how people comport themselves, and like, because it is part of the show. A paw is the show. And so you're out there and you're making these big, bold announcements and you're honoring your consort, and then you're picking up weapons that maybe you haven't handled before. And it is the show, and it is for the populace, and it is for the audience. And so thus it turns into my favorite form, because in the end, nobody really cares about winning it. It is about displaying what the SCA is and displaying what these weapons forms can bring to the field and how much you can honor those around you. And so I really like apoding arms. Like, I really, really enjoy them, and I think they're one of the most showy forms of a tournament that we take.
So I don't know what's happening unless it's a standard STA fighting format. Occasionally they try to shake things up and do like a round robin, and every single time I'm like, I don't actually fucking know what's going on. If it's not the standard SCA format, I have no goddamn idea what's happening. But I don't have a preference as for like weaponry or like, like that stuff. I really suck at answering this question, so we should move on to another one.
All right, so it's my turn for a question, right?
Yes.
I actually really like this question. This one's from Blake.
Yeah.
What tradition from your current kingdom would you bring to a different kingdom? And what kingdoms would you bring it to?
Well then.
Probably the dying of the sitting crown. And just as many as possible, because it's the best thing to watch. When our crowns step down, it's normally a death, or like the current reigning king, His Majesty Timothy, when he stepped down the first time, it was he's going off to crusade. So random things like that, where it's not I'm just going to place this on the next person. It's got another level of theater to it, of just randomness. We had one crown who fought off a T-Rex before he stepped down. Yes.
So I get to answer this before Helga, but I'm gonna leave this gaping wound of a question open to Helga's answer, and I will say my answer, which is spread to a number of kingdoms already. Roses. Roses are lovely. Roses are a lovely West Kingdom tradition.
Steal my answer then, fucker.
Well, do you want me to be like Death of the Crown? Like you don't get. I feel like you are better qualified to answer the way that I normally would answer. You and I, Westies, have like simpatico. But I would say roses, and a few other kingdoms have picked up the roses tradition, and that's wonderful. And I hope it spreads throughout all the kingdoms like a wonderful bloom of wonderfulness. So roses is basically a thing when it's a side tournament. It's not really a tournament, but it's like one-on-one fights after you've been eliminated, or if you don't want to enter a tournament where you get to fight for roses for your consort, and the roses are usually distributed by the queen or the princess, depending if you're in a principality or if you're in the kingdom event. And it's a wonderful, beautiful tradition, and it's lovely. And so I'm going to throw the awful part of this. Olga.
Well, I can't say roses now. So I'm actually gonna say I really like the simplicity of our invocations. So if we're picking a tradition, I'm gonna say simplicity of that. Also, I'm gonna go exactly against Babyninja here, and I'm gonna say the peaceful transfer of power that the West has. And this comes from our very large list format. And this comes from the fact that in rolling around in my head, I'm actually going to like brakes on an answer and then punch the brakes on another answer. I'm going to say how we ask people to participate in our lists. And so we
don't ask people. We have an open format. They can just.
But that's where I'm going to get to.
Yeah. Okay.
We do not exclude new fighters. We do not exclude squires. We don't need anybody to sponsor you into the list. If you are there, you have a valid membership, you have a consort with a valid membership, you're in the list. And this is one of those things that has been hotly debated, actually, about the West. And amusingly enough, on tier, because on tier is our like cousin in this. They have very, very large lists. And what I call this is lending the list your renown. Is in the end of any list, in 5 to 10 years, when that reign is done, when the list numbers have faded, everything else like that, you want to know what people are going to say? They're going to say, I won 100-man list. It had this many dukes. This is who I fought in finals. And so by our new fighters entering the list, understanding they're going to be the second round champions, maybe accidentally the third round champions, by all of our knights entering, by everything else like that, what they are doing is they are lending their renown to the list, and they are making legends of our kings. They are making legends of our queens, because they stand there not over a 15-person list. They stand there over 100-man list, 120-man list. Man, in quotes. Fighter, my bad. Sorry.
100-person.
It's okay.
Person.
It's okay. We've been all indoctrinated to
and that's that. As like they call myself on that indoctrination. Actually,
it's okay.
Is we stand over those 100 fighter lists. We stand over those 120 fighter lists, and so everybody in that moment in time is giving their renown to the list in a way that affects our kingdom culture. And that's something that I wish I could gift to other kingdoms. Other kingdoms are, I've been to other places where they're like, oh my God, we don't let squires fight our crown tournaments. Like, what if a squire wins? I'm like, what if the squire wins? Are y'all going to abandon them?
We've had squires win, unbelts win numerous times.
You're not going to abandon them. You're going to make sure the kingdom goes.
The kingdom did not fall apart.
They're just as not prepared as the knight that has never won. Just so you know.
Yeah.
And so I think that is something that I treasure out of West Kingdom culture that I wish I could explain better to other kingdoms. I think it's a gift. And I think it gives reasons for people to show up to Crown and be there.
I feel like if an unbelt wins in your kingdom, it is not the worst thing that's ever happened. You, as a peer, and I'm talking to all the peers right now, you as a peer need to show up and support that reign. It's happened so many times in the West. It's not even a thing. And every single time it's not a crisis because we're all there to back these people up, you know. Honestly, that's what reign should be about anyway. Like, okay. Tulia is not going to get on her ridiculous soapbox, even though I said the word. I will drink. Let's move on. Helga, would you like to ask a question randomly?
So this one goes to Babyninja. What's your favorite tradition in meridies that you wish other kingdoms would adopt?
Another one for Crown. We commonly have random like skits when you walk into Crown. For example, my knight last time he fought in Crown did a Flash Gordon skit where I got to have wings and shit. So just random funny things like that make it theater and chaos, I think would be something I want to drag around to show the gnome world. Because you're walking into Crown List and my knight is in a Ming the Merciless outfit and I have wings on my back with my Squire brothers and sisters.
I adore this, and also as a Westerner, I'm mildly horrified, but I'm just like, yes, please.
We even had one of the guys who's now a knight dressed up as Flash Gordon, and my knight's wife then shoved him over and said, "Nope, I get Ming this time." It was great.
That's awesome. Miss Sassy, do you wish to take the next question?
Yes, I'm trying to like scan. Give me a second. Because there's a crap ton of submitted questions. Oh, this is a good one. Calbard says, seeing as Kikuchi is wearing a Squire's chain, what are your thoughts on the ideas of Squires wearing chains and taking people at arms?
So, this is a fun thing. I've had this discussion with a bunch of people when I travel. Squire's chains, it's something that is a norm for me. They have to be silver, like this one. They can be unadorned. That is not the case in a lot of kingdoms I have traveled to.
Pretty much every other kingdom except for yours.
Us, Trimaris, I believe. Maybe. I might be wrong there. The Mid-Realm does it. I think Glanaban does it as well because they spawned off of us. But it also depends on the knight in the kingdom. There are knights here that don't do it. So, for me, this is a norm. Do I think other people should do it? It's up to your knight. It's up to, like, you. I almost didn't take this. Yes.
But no, let him...
No, what does the Squire chain mean to you?
So, this, when it came down to it, because originally I almost didn't want this. Because I wanted, if I ever got knighted, I wanted the weight to be instant when I wore the chain. And my knight and I talked about it, and this right now is a symbol of my fealty to the crown through my knight. It is a way to show that, yes, I am still a squire, but I understand the weight that comes with the whole thing. It's a way for me to learn and realize what I am potentially signing up for long term. And what was the other half of that? Taking people at arms. I would never take a person at arms, personally, like under myself. I know some squires that have been allowed to do that. Not my thing. If that's something that you and your knight have discussed, have at. But to me, that's a bit odd because I was a man at arms to my knight for a year and a day before I got my squire belt. And that's kind of how I see it. Also, I have a weird rant about like the man at arms position in the SCA, but it's a whole other thing.
I'm about to have so many feelings all over.
Have all the feelings.
Like, are you all ready? I need you to like click in like a fucking roller coaster. Okay, so we're gonna start with squires taking man at arms. I am gonna be incredibly not Western about this.
Oh, I think that should happen.
I love squires taking man-at-arms.
I do think that's a thing that should actually be a thing.
So
Yeah.
here's the reason why, is I
Yeah.
think that on the teaching path, and part of being a knight is becoming a teacher. The white belt and the buffet does not instantaneously download how to be a teacher. You need to learn on that path. And I want to see my students take on some of the responsibility of being a teacher without the end-all be-all responsibility. And so taking on a man-at-arms is a severable relationship. It is kind of like Tinder dating, actually. And that's kind of how I feel that it should be within the SCA, especially within a squire taking a man-at-arms, is it's kind of that feel-out moment in time of like, is this person, ready to be a teacher? Are they going to learn how to be a teacher? The only thing that I think is different in this fact is I think that a knight should take a very hands-on role in this process of the teacher teaching the next generation of how to teach. And this actually goes for pelicans, this goes for laurels, this goes for mods. Actually, this goes for all peerage classes. Amusingly enough, this even goes for royal peers, by the way. We need to look at people that are going to be our next generation and put them in a position of success to teach. And I think that the idea of a squire taking a man-at-arms is, one, incredibly fucking period, and two, actually a way to give them a little bit of protection to learn how to be a teacher. And on the West Coast, we don't have this. This is like, you're too big for your britches. Jerk, jerk, jerk. This is a knight's job. Well, you want to know what? How you learn how to be a teacher is by fucking teaching.
Can
And
confirm.
if we expect our peers to be finished teachers by the time they are made a peer, well, guess what? They need to logically be able to take students and fuck it up and learn how to do it and try. And if we don't allow them that, and if we don't allow them an official relationship in the process, or a loosely official relationship in the process, thank you. We are like, yes, please. Sorry, husband was bringing me snacks. We are actually asking them to fight everything upriver, and we are telling them you're not ready until you're a peer. And then when they become a peer, we're expecting them to be ready right then. Like magically, like there's some fucking USB stick download that doesn't exist. And this totally counts as a soapbox, by the way.
Oh, it's 100% a soapbox.
So there's my man-at-arms rant, or man-at-arms rant, or man-at-service, or person at arms, person at arts, person at service, person like...
Man-at-arms is used as a gender-neutral normally term, but we are
again
now
calling myself out on that.
Yes.
Like this is me trying to manipulate my own language because I realize that my language is gender-oriented right now, and I'm really...
And I want to see, but that's why I was trying to like dip in here, where this is man-at-arms is used with non-binary women, all those everything. It is a catch-all, but it is absolutely a gendered term. Go with that, but we also just use that as a kind of default term for the thing you're talking about.
Well, and there's a reason.
Better words for it later.
Yeah.
There's a reason it's gender neutral, and which falls into my rant, which people are asking about, but I'll leave it.
So my rant is that saying man-at-arms, like we're gonna go down a rabbit hole for a moment because I've had enough to drink to go down this rabbit hole. Dude, man-at-arms, anything like that, male is not gender neutral, and we all need to address that behavior because that is actually exclusionary in the thing.
Yup.
That is just because it is societally accepted as gender neutral does not make it gender neutral. We are all better than this, and we can all adjust our language to say person at arms or their preferred fucking pronouns. We're all smart enough. And if you say, oh, well, I don't feel like learning that, I'm sorry, you're not smart enough. And I will die on that motherfucking hill. And so there's my thing on that is male is not gender neutral. And if we want to actually make an equal society, we need to understand that. And so there's my weird rant for the evening. So there's soapbox number 2. I will take all my drinks all at once because we're probably about to have soapbox number 3. Squire chains in my universe are setting our squires up to fail. And here is why. My chain represents my ability to not say no. When my king calls, I can speak or to be silent, but I must then follow the crown's word at that moment in time. I will never in my life put any of my students to that until they are peers, until they step away from my protection and who I am and become their own person. They should not carry that burden. The chain is the symbol of our fealty and our surrendering of self to the crown's ideals of what we are and when and how, in both uses and abuses. My squires will never carry a chain, and they will never carry that level of fealty because it is my job to protect them from the abuses. When they can stand on their own and speak or to be silent is when they can carry a chain, because they themselves have become their own peers. And until then, that chain does not belong, because that chain is a choke chain sometimes. And they should not carry that burden until they fully understand that. And I will tell you as a peer, you do not understand that until a crown abuses it. And so while you are my student, I will protect you from those abuses. I will educate you as much as possible about those abuses, but I will never expect you to carry that burden. It is my job to actually protect you from them.
So I don't wear a chain. Just saying. I'm a peer, but I don't wear a chain. But I feel the yoke of the chain on my neck every fucking day. I swear fealty to the crown, and that is my chain. Is my words. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I feel it's very profound. But yeah, other
Also, I'd like to
kingdoms.
note for my soapboxes.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next question because it's weird because we've gotten into weird territory. So I'm going to... Fabe had a question. He said, what is your go-to party trick?
Ooh.
Go-to party trick. Puns.
I hate you.
100%. Or self-deprecating jokes, depending upon the crowd. Because sometimes I get yelled at for self-deprecating jokes.
Helga, what's your go-to party trick?
I can touch my tongue to my nose, and I have
hate
won a
you.
lot of money in bars over that.
Also hate you. Okay, my go-to party trick is I'm just ridiculous and I like to have a good time. I don't think I have a party trick. Yeah, I don't think I really do. I think I just show up at a party and I'm like, pew pew, we're all having a great time. Let's have great times together. I like to have fun. That's my party trick.
Tulia's party trick is now finger guns. That's canon.
I mean, that's actually kind of... All right, so I'm going to jump in
If
real
my
quick.
party trick is finger guns, I am legit happy. I just fold it all up, tuck it away. We're done. We're cool. That's good.
All right, so I'm going to say that we are in an hour and 40 minutes. Is everybody still having fun? And this is also a question to the audience, because we can keep going with audience questions. And so also we have like a 15-second lag to that question actually hitting. So I would need your guys' answers first.
How about we
I'm
just
good.
go until Tulia has to pee again?
So 5 minutes. Got it.
Fucking, that was savage. All right, so
I hate your
I'm
face.
going to answer a quick question while we're waiting for that. Sammy asked, what does the sign behind me translate to? And anybody with Google Translate will come down to that sign translates to bounce house.
What does it say? Desolto dominum?
Yep.
Domo. Gotcha. Okay.
Phrasing.
I would like to note that that sign was gifted to me on my vigil.
I'm really mad that you don't have my fuck it sign up right behind.
I do have your fuck it sign posted. Actually, it's over my art area.
I like how you're just, it's just over there.
I have that. It's actually right over there. It's underneath one of my favorite skulls, actually.
So when,
As everybody, hang on one second. As everybody can see, my room is full
of crap.
of dead things.
So we were in, Torfin and I were in, I can never say like my own goddamn boyfriend's name normally because half of us say Thorfinn, the other half say Torfin, and it's a whole thing. So anyway, Kelly and I were in New Orleans, and I found this wrought iron, like just this, it's like an arrow that says fuck it. And anyway, I was like, you know what, who needs that? Helga needs that. So
Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
So I just answered a question. So Sassy, would be your next question.
Oh God, this is so tedious. What is happening?
You just pick one.
I am picking one. I hate you. Let's see. Okay, there are 2 questions. 11 and 12 are exactly the same. And it's not because just I've been drinking. Let's see. I'm going to go with 14. Auric. For Babyninja. If you were going to bring Sassy and Danger Muppet to a Meridian event, which one would it be?
Meridian Grand Tournament. Hands down.
And why?
Because that is our biggest event. It tops our crown in the level of pageantry, fighting, and just downright shenanigans.
Okay.
You have 5 tournaments that feed into the Grand Tournament.
Okay, so this is the pooled list.
Yes. So you have the Armatura, which is 3-man random melee teams. That runs for a half hour. Then you have the Saber Tourney, which is single sword. Then you have it's like a William Marshall tourney. Then you have the Chalice Tournament, which is a donate to get a life, and then you fight your tournament. All the proceedings go to a better women's shelter, and then you have the Great Weapons Tourney. And from there, the first and second place winners all go into the final tourney. That gives you 10. Then every peerage picks one, which gives you another 6, because you have the Shiv, the Pelican, the Laurel, the Maud, and the Royal Peers, and then the Populace also get a pick, which gives you a Sweet 16. Then you have the final tournament to get the Meridian Grand Champion. And everybody brings out their nicest tent, their nicest garb, the best fighting you can ever imagine, all the banners, all the things. It's fantastic.
I have a really vital question about this, and that is, does it take place during a time of the year where it is hot and humid?
It's generally... Ulrich will correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say it's mid-September, which is not all that warm and humid. It's actually really nice.
Okay, because I am just a hard no in your general region of the United States for anywhere in the summer, like late spring through early fall-ish. Mostly just through late spring through late summer.
It's on the lower end of hot and humid. I don't die in my armor, if that gives you context, because I'm in a padded gambeson, 3 layers of clothes and plastic armor, and I don't die. So
then I'll be there. I'll be there in a heartbeat. Helga, next question is yours.
All right. So I have the next question, which I think is imperative
Uh-oh.
to life, the universe, and everything.
42.
No.
That actually might be your answer. This one comes from Kunahild. What category would you like to see in a future trivia contest?
Can you tell the difference between Gen X and Gen Z?
Yeah.
I read that when she posted, and I was like, I have had this loaded and ready to go.
Okay, wait. I have a clarification question. Can you
The
tell
difference between
Gen
Gen
X and Gen Z within the SCA?
The difference between Gen X and Gen Z is millennials.
Oh no, I'm talking about like shit they do. Like they give you a scenario. Is this something Gen X or Gen Z did? Because that's what I want to see happen. And no, just totally like regular every day.
Wow, I just did that out loud.
Also, I'm really sorry for eating on camera, but my husband brought me snacks and they're really good.
You say
Okay.
you're sorry as I've been shoving cookies in my face like a freaking madman.
I keep burping. This is terrible. So our next question. Crystal asks, and this is our last question, so we can wrap the fuck up and I can eat my sushi dinner and be done with this shenaniganery. Crystal asks, what weird habits you do in your car on your way to events?
I have a playlist. It's titled Punk Goes Pop, but it's got about 6 hours worth of songs. I will turn it on and turn the music to ungodly loud and not care. And
You know
sing
what?
85% of the songs on that list.
I kind of want to know this playlist because Punk Goes Pop is literally like my jam.
It has all of the Punk Goes Pop albums, and then literally every genre you can think of. It goes
into this.
from 80s rock to country to EDM to techno to hardcore heavy metal to gothic metal and just all over the place.
All of this sounds great.
I can go from literally Glad You Came by whatever the fuck that band's name is that I'm escaping my brain right now to
How are we
Powerwolf.
spelling came?
CAME. From that song to Powerwolf in an instant. So
Cool. Helga?
So I'm going to say that we have the question game. So in my vehicle, wherever it is, like if you're in the vehicle and it's an opt-in, so we believe in consent, there's a whole like fucking ramble that I have before we play this game, jerk, of anybody can ask a question, but everybody must answer. Unless somebody's going to tap out, and you must tap out after the question's asked. Like, cool, I'm going to skip this one. Like, I don't feel like answering it, and then everybody else can answer. And it's a way I developed to stay awake, because I used to power drive from Modesto to Estrella. And I was the only driver. And so, like, I was just like, cool, we're going to start asking each other random questions to get to know each other in the vehicle, because I would pick up, like, random SCAers on the way down. Because I'm like, how can a broke college student pay for fuel? Because I own a fucking Dodge Dually diesel, and I can haul fucking everything down there, but I can't pay to get down there. So, like, I will just pick up people randomly on my way there, as long as they pay for fuel. Like, give no fucks. And so we started playing a question game. And so you can tell when I'm tired. Because I will start just, like, randomly asking questions that I expect everybody in the car to answer. Including, like, what is your favorite non-sexual physical sensation?
Well, everybody would have to say, like, playing with my hair.
But for some people, that's sexual. They can't answer that as, like, playing with my hair, because that's actually a turn on. And so you learn a ton about people while you're driving, because people just randomly fire questions at each other. Like, what's your favorite movie to watch that is also something that you hate to admit to watching? Like, there's just a ton of shit that comes out in those. And so I would say the random question game where everybody is expected to answer that's in my vehicle is what happens on long road trips.
Okay. Mine is not as elaborate, but I do expect us to stop at, like, the first opportunity to get junk food every single time. So I'm a terrible answer to this question. Helga, do you want to find the last question to this and wrap this show?
Well, I was about to say, you said this was the last question, so either I could ask one more
did
question.
I mean, I feel like I have a really, like, shitty answer to it, so maybe let's ask another question.
Okay, then
then we can-
I will scan the questions real quick.
I feel like Tulia is significantly drunk because she hasn't had anything to drink in like 2 weeks.
I would also agree with that. So I'm actually going to take...
Right. Okay.
No,
Tulia's
there's not
ridiculously
a put down or anything else like that, because my husband's been pouring some very good Cosmos tonight.
I haven't drank in almost a month, and except for tonight.
So I'm going to take Gwen's question, actually, because I think this is a really good one. This is also a lesson for everybody out there.
Oh, God.
How would you put between two peer experiences on a mundane job resume?
I'm going to answer this because I've done it. So I literally framed it.
What? Really?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Well, considering he does all of the actual technical work on the show, yeah.
So as I framed it, the ability to coordinate, design, and implement a stream-based layout to the internet to a massive group of people while being able to interactively during the live stream maintain, upload, and coordinate the scene changes, any type of troubleshoot technical issues, and in some ways project manage the hosts when needed.
That's good.
Sassy?
No, I wouldn't put this on any resume because...
Really?
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, man. This is like resume fucking work. Do we need to ask one more question after this? Because
No.
I
want you to tell me why I should put this on the resume, because literally this is my hobby and I do ridiculous shit in it, and I can't like spin this anyway other than this is me being stupid on a wide platform. So you tell me why this is valuable.
Okay, so amusingly enough, and by the way, I'm just going to put a shout out to the huge amount of people watching right now. If you ever want to talk about how to put your SCA stuff on a resume, ping me. I will help you go through it.
I know how to put my SCA stuff on a resume. I do not think the ridiculous shit that I do on the show is applicable.
It is. It's social media influencing. It is.
I am a social media officer. I can do that. That's not the show.
I'm giving you ways to put it on the resume. I'm also just shouting out to our entire watching crew that if you ever need help putting the SCA on a resume, I can help you. Like, I will sit down and give you my time so you can put this on a resume. Like, I want to be very, very clear because the SCA is actually an item you can put on a resume. We can talk about your experience within the SCA and how that applies to jobs, because it does. Volunteer time applies to jobs. And so what I'm going to say is, Sassy, what I would say is, social media influencing, crowd management, organization, understanding and adapting to live situations. Because one of the things that we do as hosts is we read the comments and we adapt the show to the comments. So that is something that you also do. Show development, content development, tech adaption. These are all things that you can put on a resume very, very easily with between two peers, because even for a free show where we have a tech crew, we've still had to learn how to adapt to new technology and then apply it. And so that's something that you can use on a resume.
Well, you got very good points. Yeah.
Tulia, if I can put my D&D experience on a resume, we can help you out here.
So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up the show. And because one of the things is we've had a riot of a time tonight. And again, the show has been a little choppy because we have tried a new format where we're reading out a lot of live questions from the audience. And so please, please, please feel free to send me or Sassy your feedback about this evening's show. We'd really, really love to continue to develop our content for our audience. And I want to say thank you very much for giving our time, or your time, not our time, to the show. Also, those Cosmos were really strong. So with that, what I'm going to say is, so Babyninja, do you wish to give a shout out? And if you choose, if you choose Askanites, I'm going to punch you.
No, actually, I'm going to shout out Graf Ulrich's show where he's doing a show called How Shit Works. He is interviewing all of the officers in meridies specifically right now to ask them how shit in the SCA works behind the scenes. So the regular person in the SCA, your average event goer that has no idea what's going on, can really understand what is at stake when it comes to your X-checkers, your shadow lanes, your marshals, and all the nonsense they have to go through that nobody else sees. It's a great chance to see behind the curtain. Specifically, it's for meridies, but I imagine a lot of it will translate because it's all like the officer and stuff. It's a really great way to, one, see how meridies interacts and what happens here, and also look behind the curtain of another kingdom or the SA in general.
Agreed. I'm going to say that Graf Ulrich's show has been very well done and is incredibly organic and also adaptive. And I'm really, really impressed so far.
Also, his co-host is the Knight of Kittens, if you want to just give his co-host shit.
Miss Sassy, your shout out this evening?
I don't really have a shout out other than Ask the Knights Live and Cowbird's Corner. You guys are kicking it and kicking ass. So I'm going to just throw that over to Helga.
So I'm going to shout out tonight to all the content creators out there. I'm going to say check out, very selfishly, please check out Known World Entertainment Guide. And if you are a content creator, send in your classes, send in your events, send in your reoccurring shows. We will host that. It is a group of people from across the known world that are coming together to try to grab all the content we can and make it into something that everybody can search and find. So please, please, please send in the content. Please send in your classes. Please send in your shows, everything else like that, because that way other people can find you. We have like 2,100 followers now, which is kind of fucking surreal. And so my shout out goes to everybody that is continuing to give their time. While we're in the middle of a pandemic, we've hit the year marker, which is sad and frightening. But I want to say thank you so much to content creators. And then I want to send a huge thank you to everybody that continues to give their time to watch the shows. Without you, the content creators would not exist. And so without you, we would not be here. And so thank you for giving up your evenings, for attending classes, for being there and being who you are and continuing to give us a reason to go forward. That's the reason why we are here. So, star, insert all the emotion, star. Beyond that, I'm going to say, hey, Between Two Peers is continuing to go on. We have a Discord chat that is super active. Come join us on the server. There's an after show chat. Like, come hang out with both the guests and the hosts. Pepper us with questions, or like pepper other people on the board with questions, because we have past guests that show up all the time. And next week, we're going to have Fortune and Zara on the show. Gonna be epic as fuck.
I am gonna throw some curveballs at Fortune.
Like,
I love her to
expect some
death.
good questions
It's
from
gonna
her.
go sideways.
And so from there, I just want to say thank you for continuing to follow and like us. And remember that for every like on this video, there is a doggo treat. And I'm gonna say every like this time because we've hit over 60. So now you get to spoil Lana.
She has gone and decided that because it's cooler outside than it is in my room, because I have two PCs running. She's outside. I can hear her out in the window, just barking at whatever squirrel is still awake because, well, that's my dog.
My boy's passed out over the shoulder. So with that, I'm going to say like, share, and follow. Thank you so much for continuing to watch us, and we'll go see you on the server.
Bye.
Have a good night.